Good afternoon once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this year's annual open forum for the Access Pension Plan. My name is Harriet Amma, and I'll be your MC for today. The purpose of the forum is to update scheme members on all the activities on the scheme, and also use the opportunity to receive feedback for the services we have rendered. It is our expectation that you remain active participants during the session by posting your comments, your feedback, your suggestions in the chat box, and they'll be answered in due time. The questions will be either answered directly by our panelists or will also be responded to in the chat box. Without wasting much time, I would like to invite Mr. Matthew Mani to give us the opening prayer.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, shall we pray? Father, we thank you once again for the gathering of members of the Access Pension Plan and trustees and also service providers. You have shown great grace and help for all of us. These are people that have shown great sacrifice and foresight, being able to put some money aside and invest them towards their future. Today we have gathered to get a report of how far they have fared. I pray, Father, that you'll be with us, you'll guide us through this meeting. At the end, we shall remember to give you thanks. This and many other things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Mr. Matthew Mani. To give us the opening remarks is Mr. Efriowari. Mr. Efriowari is the Chief Executive Officer and the co-founder of Access Pension Trust. Mr. Efriowari, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Harriet, and good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 5th Access Pension Plan Open Forum. For most of us, our savings with Access are the single most important financial investments we have, at least in my case, and I believe in yours as well. So we need to accord it the highest protection to safeguard it. Keeping you in the dark will only create unnecessary anxiety and apprehension, rather than the trust and the confidence we at Access wish to inspire in you. And that is the reason we have instituted this open forum, to submit ourselves to your scrutiny so as to foster a true sense of accountability and assurance of financial peace of mind. In the past 8 months, the world has been in stormy economic waters. Global inflation is on the rise. Rich countries are pursuing quantitative tightening. And as a result, many developing countries, including our own country, Ghana, are choking with debt and inflation. In the last 8 months, inflation has skyrocketed in Ghana. The cedi has depreciated almost 50% on the forex market, and the government faces imminent risk of insolvency as a result of portfolio reversals by foreign investors. I believe you are anxious to know what strategies we have to mitigate against further value erosion. So our trustees are here to account for their stewardship, and our investment team is also on this webinar to share their insights and strategies with us. So for the Board of Trustees, we have Mr. Robert Benning, who is our board chair. He's a leadership coach, a strategy consultant, and an investment practitioner. Mr. Matthew Mani is the CFO of Access. He also doubles as a trustee. He has a rich background in treasury management, taxation, financial reporting, and management controls. Mrs. Dorcas Okansi is a human resource practitioner with several decades of experience. And Mr. Daniel Akwesisapon is a banker with over 20 years management experience. And your independent trustee is no one else but Mr. Samuel Atubuatin. He's an entrepreneur a finance professional, and an investment banker with over 18 years experience. And yours truly, a free Owari. I have my background in investment management, in business analysis, and also in fund administration. So we are the people who have accepted the duty and the responsibility to be your trustees. We are here for you, so please feel free to ask questions that may agitate your mind, and we will endeavor to provide the answers as best as we can. I hope we have a great session today. Thank you very much for joining us for this event. Thank you. Over to you, Harriet.
Thank you very much, Mr. Owari. At our last ended annual open forum for the Access Pension Plan, we received some feedback from you, our cherished clients, and would like to use this opportunity to render accounts on the issues that were raised. To do us the honors is Nanari Afibuama. Nanari Afibuama is the Chief Investment Officer at Access Pension Trust. He's a chartered financial analyst, and he has a wealth of experience in risk management and investment banking. Nanari Afibuama, the floor is yours.
Hi, Harriet. Thank you very much. So last year, members asked if it was possible to use their pension contribution, i.e. the Access Pension Plan, to secure mortgage. We gave an update to the fact that we're working with one of the largest mortgage providers in the country on a product that would meet exactly that need. Where we are with that product is that the bank is seeking regulatory approval from the Bank of Ghana to allow for members to use their pension contribution to secure mortgages. We are hopeful by the end of the year, the product will be licensed and that can be done. So this means if you have your Access Pension Plan and it has accumulated enough balance, you can use that as security to get a mortgage without any down payment. So this is also to encourage members who, by the grace of God, has accumulated enough not to touch or withdraw from your personal pension. Otherwise, when the product goes live, you may not be able to qualify for such a wonderful addition to your pension. So that is where we are. Hopefully by end of year, the bank will get regulatory approval, and everyone on this call who needs mortgage to secure their primary property can use their balance without withdrawing to do just that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nanari Afibuama. Next on the agenda is presentations. We'll be taking a series of presentations. So do well to give us your questions, your suggestions, your recommendations in the chat box. We are eager to hear from you and we value what you have to say. So we will be expecting the questions in the chat box and we'll either respond to them directly through our panelists or we will answer them through the chat box. Our first presentation for the day is a presentation on the scheme investment strategy, its performance and its outlook. And it will be delivered by Nanari Afibuama. So let's welcome Nanari Afibuama once again.
Thank you, Harriet. Can you kindly confirm if you can see the slides?
Yes, sir, I can see your screen.
Sure, thank you very much. So good afternoon once again to members of the Access Pension Plan. And thank you very much for making time this afternoon to attend our 2022 Open Forum. So my purpose here today, as Harriet has already mentioned, is to present to you the performance of your scheme for this year and also outlook on performance going forward. I will begin my presentation by giving a brief overview of the economic environment the scheme operated in during the year under review 2021. So following a beaten down economic growth due to the coronavirus pandemic in 2020, GDP growth in Ghana rebounded nicely to about 5.4%, driven by growth in the agri and the service sectors. Supply chain challenges, however, drove inflation outside the Bank of Ghana's inflation target band to close the year at 12.6%. On direction on interest rate, we saw interest rates remain relatively flat during the first 9 months in 2021. However, going into the fourth quarter, negative economic news and headwinds drove interest rates across the entire government maturities by about 1.2% on the average. On the stock market, the Ghana Stock Exchange rebounded from 3 years of negative to close the year 2021 up by 43.66%. And this was driven by positive corporate performance, largely in the telco and the banking sector, in addition to strong performance we saw in the agri-business sector. I show here graphically what I just spoke about. So you see a gradual shift upwards in interest rates during the year under review across all the government of Ghana maturities. Now to the scheme objective. The Access Pension Plan has an objective to outperform inflation by at least 5% on a 5-year average basis. The secondary objective of the scheme is also to beat the government of Ghana 364 days Treasury bill benchmark. So when we do our asset allocation, the objective is to achieve these goals. On asset allocation, during the year under review, you would see from the table that we reduced our allocation to government of Ghana securities in line with our expectations of difficulties ahead, and sought refuge in what we thought were good stocks by increasing our equity allocation from 6% to 11%, and also reducing the overall maturity of the scheme by deploying about 20% of the total asset under management in money market securities. This slide shows a breakdown of the allocation graphically. So you would see about 101 million Ghana cedi of total assets, representing 54% of total holdings invested in government of Ghana securities, followed by 11% in local government and statutory agency securities, and that includes the Cocoa Bill, the ESLA PLC bonds. We had about 9% invested in equities and about 10% each invested in mutual fund, money market mutual fund, and in bank fixed deposits. Our lowest allocation were in corporate bonds and alternative asset securities. Thanks to your continuous monthly contribution and also relatively strong performance in 2021, the scheme's asset under management increased by 53 million to close the year at 183.7 million Ghana cedi. Now to the scheme's return for 2021. In compliance with the NPRA's Pension Act, the Pension Act 766 and the new NPRA's investment guideline, the scheme operates two main retirement plans, namely the moderately aggressive plan and the conservative plan. The asset allocations in this plan is driven mainly by the ages of participants, where participants who are younger and are able to take risk are mapped onto the moderately aggressive plan unless those participants chooses otherwise. And those who can barely take much risk because of their age are mapped into the conservative plan. So conservative plan do not have any equities, whereas the moderately aggressive plan has some amount of equities. The return for the moderately aggressive plan for 2021 was 16.82 compared to the conservative plan of about 16.30. Both plans outperformed inflation for the year under review. However, it was only the moderately aggressive plan that did better than the benchmark 364-day Treasury bill. The underallocation to Government of Ghana securities and the increased allocation to money market securities, as I mentioned, we had about 20% of total portfolio in money market security, put the Access Pension Plan in a great position to outperform similar schemes in the coming year. The increased allocation in money market securities gave us the flexibility to act and rebalance the portfolio quickly as the general economic numbers deteriorated in 2022. So as you may observe, from your balances, returns for the Access Pension Plan as of June 2022 is about 11.62%. And we believe that 11.62% exceeds similar schemes on the market. Now to what the future holds for your scheme. We are living in a period of rising inflation, which has had a pass-through effect on interest rates as the Bank of Ghana increases its benchmark prime rate to, as it were, fight rising inflation. Consequently, interest rates across all the government maturities have increased by over 10% in the year 2020. And this increase has an impact on the value of long-term bonds. Our expectations around rate is that we may see interest rate rise further as policymakers do everything they can do to attract more portfolio inflows from outside to Ghana to stem the tide of the rapidly depreciating cedi. We also think until we see a real breakthrough around the IMF discussion, interest rates on the sovereign Eurobond will continue to increase. For us, the increase in rate presents an opportunity to buy some of those USD assets at a beaten down price. And thus far, we've done that for the Access Pension Plan. We've increased our allocation to Eurobond massively throughout the year, and that puts the scheme in a good stead, to keep outperforming. Our strategy around interest rates is to shorten the overall maturities of our portfolio, so we could keep rolling over maturities at a higher rate until we see our way clear around the economy. Now, on corporate bond and local government and statutory agency securities, our strategy is to remain very cautious around those securities, given the economic headwind we are facing as a country. So we don't plan to increase allocation in those asset classes. The stock market have begun the year roughly, right, with year-to-date return in excess of 13%. If the trend does not change, this would be the fourth time in 5 years that we've seen negative return on our stock market. Nonetheless, we are quite optimistic about the future of the stock market, and we'll keep investing in companies that have very strong balance sheets, companies that are leaders in their industries, companies that have multiple revenue streams, and most importantly, are consistent dividend payers to make up for the losses in capital. The strategy is to maintain overall equity allocation at around 10 to 12% of total portfolio. Lastly, in the alternative investment space, we believe that going forward, that asset class will be very critical in our overall portfolio strategy. Currently, we have about 0.6% of assets invested in that space. We will keep looking around and back very experienced, ethical, and result-oriented managers of this asset class who can deliver great return to our scheme. So in summary, we believe the future for scheme members who are invested in the Access Pension Plan is bright in as long as we keep or we remain invested in the scheme. Now, to the second part of my presentation. The presentation will touch on the subject area, navigating moment of economic uncertainty. We've had some of our clients call us expressing concerns about the current macro challenges and the impact on their retirement future. It's our hope that this presentation will help calm some nerves and provide some positive perspective to help us stay focused in our investment journey. I would again rehash some of the economic realities we are currently confronted with, just so we can put the presentation in perspective. So currently, inflation in Ghana is at record high, and that is no different from what is happening globally, which is squeezing consumers. We are experiencing very high fiscal deficit due to rising and sticky expenditure vis-a-vis inadequate revenues. Interest rates across the government curve is high. The Russia-Ukraine war is still going on. We've had our credit downgraded, which effectively has shut us out from the Eurobond market, and therefore the impact on the currency. We have over the years borrowed to shore up our reserve, and given that this year we were not able to tap money from the Eurobond market, we all see the pressure that has come on our currency. Globally, central banks all over the world are increasing interest rates, which again put unnecessary burden on emerging markets like Ghana that over the years have become used to borrowing from the market. We've already talked about a rapidly depreciating currency. All this really gives all of us chills and a cause of concern. However, as investors, how do we navigate these uncertainties? I would like to say that no matter how hard we all try, we have absolutely no control about how the economy would behave tomorrow. Nobody can predict inflation in 3-6 months. We can all hazard a guess. But as I just said, there are guesses as to whether they will turn out correct or not. Nobody can know. We all can predict interest rates tomorrow. Few experts can accurately, consistently predict some of those macro numbers. So the focus really is to highlight those things that are within our control as investors. To navigate economic uncertainty, I would advocate for these 4 things to be done. We need to stay invested as investors. We need a good dose of good behavior, discipline, and long-term focus to be able to create a certain retirement outcome for ourselves. We need to save a lot of money if we want to enjoy great retirement outcome. And lastly, beyond your mandatory and your voluntary pension you need to find a way of creating additional savings and investing in real assets and assets that are uncorrelated, basically with Ghana's risk. I'll touch on each point briefly. So despite whatever challenges we are going through, inflation is high, interest rate is high, I would say consumption is not an alternative to defeating inflation and high cost of living. Investing is the only effective tool we have to defeat inflation. I will demonstrate this here. So over the last 10 years, Ghana's inflation has averaged about 12.79%, whereas the 1 year risk-free treasury rate has averaged 19.27%. This leaves us with a real return of 6.47. Finding the inverse of 6.47 is 15.54. And this is what I call the retirement multiple. And what is the retirement multiple? The retirement multiple is just a number that helps us quantify how much money we will need to have in retirement to maintain our current living standard. So if currently you require 100,000 to live comfortably, then it means at retirement, you would have to have about 1.5 million invested to be able to generate enough income for you to live comfortably. So the advice here is, no matter what challenges we may be going through as an economy, I do not see how withdrawing from your pension plan at the least chance you get would help you navigate the current storm and ensure a decent retirement future, in as long as we are able to invest your monies above inflation rate over the long term. If you stay invested, the assurance is that you are able to live quite decently when you retire. Secondly, when it comes to weathering economic challenges and retire very well, we all need a good dose of good behavior. A successful investing has more to do with behavior or psychology than knowledge. So financial success is not a hard science, it is a soft skill, where how you behave is more important than what you know. And that is why all over the world, and even in this country, Ghana, some of the richest people we can think of may not possess the degrees some of us have. If you want to be a better investor, the single most powerful thing you can do to yourself is to increase your time horizon. In this instance, I would say if you are contributing to your Access pension plan, keep your monies working for you in the plan and do not withdraw if you really don't have an emergency need for your money, because the longer your time horizon, the more compound interest works its wonders for you. And also the very important point over here for most of us or all of us, good investing isn't necessarily about earning the highest return, because the highest return tends to be one of it that can be repeated. And often in Ghana, we have come to the realization that extremely high returns comes with its attended fraud. And some of us have been defrauded in time past because of the desire of seeking very, very good return, which were outside market expectations. Now to the last point on what we all need to do to weather the economic storm. And I would say to ensure that we are able to navigate moments of economic uncertainty, we all need to save more money. The country is in a difficult situation because consistently we have spent more than the revenue we are able to generate. So all this talk about fiscal deficit in simple terms, means negative saving. So to bring this home, if an individual consumes more than they earn, they would go broke. And there's no mincing words on that. And I make this point with a lot of humility, acknowledging the difficulties we are all facing as scheme members. I know it is very difficult in times like this to save, but the plain truth is that financial independence at any income level is driven by your savings rate. That is why we've seen people who earn very high income go broke in retirement. Once you are earning, say, 100,000 cedis a month and you are spending 110, you will definitely go broke compared to somebody who is probably making 3,000 and is able to save 200, 300 consistently over 10, 20, 30 years. Personal saving and frugality, as I mentioned before, are the parts of the money equation that we all have control over. I mentioned that you don't have control about how the economy will perform tomorrow, but then you have control about how much you can save from your meager income. And the promise over here is if you can consistently save the little you are making over your lifetime, you will be in a better position to weather any economic storm that comes your way. Lastly, I would like to correct a little impression about the Access Pension Plan out there. It is not an insurance product, and therefore this product has no maturity date. We have seen quite a number of us withdrawing from our Access Pension Plan, not because we need the money, but probably because during, our sales pitch to you, you may have heard that there's a maturity of 5 years. There's no maturity, and therefore, if you were told that this product has a maturity date, and that maturity date is due, and you don't have need for your money, please let that money work wonders for you by compounding. Thank you very much for your time and for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nanari Afibuama. If you are just joining in, welcome to this year's annual open forum for the Access Pension Plan. We are excited to hear from you. So if you have any questions concerning the presentation you just heard, kindly post it in the chat box. It will be duly addressed. I would like to acknowledge Christopher, Patrick, Romeo, Abigail, and Paulina for their questions. They will be answered in due time. Our next presentation is on the Trustees Report for 2021. This presentation will be delivered by Mr. Robert Baining. Mr. Robert Baining is the board chairman of our Master Trust Schemes, and is also the founder and the chief strategist at Temple Advisory. Mr. Robert Baining, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Harriet. Good afternoon to you all. Scheme members, on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Access Pension Plan, we would like to welcome you to another successful year of investing your hard-earned money to ensure you realize your goal of meeting your retirement objectives. We express our profound gratitude to you and look forward to a stronger relationship this year and beyond. We hold in very high esteem our fiduciary role and always look forward to give an account of our stewardship of your scheme every year through this medium. This year's letter is even more crucial given the unprecedented economic challenges we're confronted with, exacerbated by continued upward price pressure in basic food items and transportation costs. As is always the case, our report will highlight the superiority of long-term investing, touching briefly on macroeconomic context within which the scheme operates and the performance of the scheme. And this has been done by our Chief Investment Officer, Nana Wiafi-Boama. Each year, we extol the virtue of long-term thinking as it relates to investing for retirement. This is because majority of our scheme members are investing to finance retirement, and therefore their time horizon can span decades. The financial security we seek to help our members achieve is not created overnight. It is a long-term endeavor, and that informs our investment approach. The good book in Psalm 106, verse 6 describes the process of investing succinctly in the following words. We cried on the way to plant our seeds, but we will celebrate as we bring in the crops. This underscores the usual refrain that investing is hard and delaying consumption, present consumption, is difficult. Setting aside money monthly for a future benefit, which is decades away, requires a lot of self-discipline and mental fortitude. If investing were easy, the street will be littered with very wealthy retirees. We, however, believe members in our scheme, especially the voluntary tier 3, who make the deliberate choice not to withdraw their investment or interrupt it unnecessarily, stand a greater chance for a pleasurable retirement outcome. The year under review was full of contrast. The first 9 months showed some promising macroeconomic numbers, while the last quarter saw a significant worsening in macroeconomic variables. For instance, inflation, which began the year at 10.4, touched a low of 7.0% in July and gradually began to climb, touching 12.6% by year end. The increase in inflation was driven by global food supply chain challenges brought on by the coronavirus pandemic. Despite the difficult and volatile macroeconomic environment, the average return on the Access pension plan was 16.56%. This return represents 0.10% above the benchmark 364 days Government of Ghana Treasury bill. Total asset under management represented by the net asset value for year-end 2021 was 183 million Ghana cedis. This is up from 130 million Ghana cedis for year-end 2020. The year under review also saw the National Pensions Regulatory Authority come out with new investment guidelines. The guidelines is aimed at ensuring safety of pension fund assets and achieving fair returns on the funds, as well as following objectives of investment options. A, enhance the ability of trustees and fund managers to make sound investment decisions, and B, create an environment that enables pension funds to impact positively on the Ghanaian economic environment. The guideline has introduced 3 mandatory constituent funds for all tier 2 schemes, namely moderately aggressive portfolio, moderately conservative portfolio, and conservative portfolio. The same can be implemented for tier 3 schemes, albeit not mandatory. Thankfully, right from inception, Access Pension Trust, your reliable names in pension, had implemented a constituent fund approach to the Access Pension Plan. This means that we are among the very first pension trustees to meet the NPRA deadline for the implementation of the new constituent fund structure. The year under review also saw us engage with our clients on multiple forums and platforms. To name a few, the Access Pension Trust Open Forum gave us the opportunity to give account of the stewardship of your money, and the Access Pension Trust Pre-Retirement Conference was organized to help clients near retirement plan and prepare ahead for their retirement. We will continue to bring these important educational opportunities to all our esteemed members this year and beyond. We continue unabatedly in our retirement planning staff engagement for our clients at various workplaces, and we will encourage you to invite us. We will come and share with your team, with your staff, opportunities they have to continue investing for retirement in this environment, and also how they can continue to manage their finances. Our team is ever ready to support our clients in this direction. We continue to improve our level of engagement with our clients through technology. Our members can actively engage with us and transact on our online client relationship management platform and our USSD shortcode *1860#. This is our USD shortcode *1860#, *1860#. 18 is the age that we legally are able to work, and 60 is when we retire. So *1860#. Members can also use ECA Media to enroll onto the pension platform to supplement their private retirement earnings. You can increase your contributions. You can access your member statements all on our online platforms. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I thank all the participating scheme members for your continued trust in our stewardship. Have a great 2022. We're looking forward to seeing you again at our forum in 2023. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Robert Bainey. We would like to take a few questions and get answers for them. There's a question from Abigail. She says that I have been receiving monthly alerts when my monthly contributions come in, but I have not been appraised with the interest or investment components of my fund. How do I obtain this information? There's also another question from Paulina that says that I currently live in Bogatanga and I understand you don't have an office here. How do I get access to my account or even my statements of contributions? Opare will be answering these two questions from Abigail. I'll take a last question as well. My name is okay. So we'll take the last question. The speaker would address the question and also give an answer. So I would, Opare, if you could kindly take over and answer your questions.
Thank you, Harriet. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Isaac Opare Noy, and I'll be happy to answer your questions swiftly. First of all, starting with that of Abigail. So Abigail, to be able to have a breakdown of your account, it's actually a very simple process, and there are a lot of options to do that. First of all, you can download our mobile app, and I'm happy to say that it's available on both iOS and then also on the Android Play Store. Once you download the mobile app, with your Access member number or your SNIT number, you'll be able to log in and be able to see the breakdown of your balance. So you get the investment component, your contribution component, and then the interest components. In addition to that, you'll be able to do a lot more on your account and find more information about your account. Also, you can visit our website and then move on to login, and then just choose member login. This with the same SNIT number or member number, you'll be able to generate a PDF statement, which will give you a breakdown of every contribution you've ever made, and then the breakdown, the interest component, your balance, as well as update your beneficiary. There's actually so much you can do on any of these platforms, either the mobile app, which is available on Android Play Store and then Apple iOS, and then also the web portal, which you have so much information and you'll be able to do so much there. next on to Paulina's question. Paulina, it's true we do not have an office in Bolgatanga. Actually, our closest office to you will be Tamale, but you don't need to visit the office to see your statement. As I mentioned when I was answering Abigail's question, if you download our mobile app, you can check your balance and do other things on it as well as visiting our web portal. Let me also add that you can also take advantage of our USSD. When Mr. Robert Benin was talking, he mentioned it, a *1860 hash, *1860 hash. With the USSD code, you'll be able to check your account balance as well. If you want to remember, 18 is the age at which you become an adult, and then 60 is the retirement age. So together, *1860 is the magic code. You can simply use that and check your balance as well. Of course, we have the toll-free number 0800 001860. It's free for all MTN users. If you call us between the hours of 7 and 9 p.m., we'll be happy to also assist you and check your balance. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Isaac Oparinoi. Mr. Collins Tamate, please unmute yourself and answer the question assigned to you. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, thanks for your question. So when you see a reversal on your statement, it means that there should be a corresponding credit as a contribution has been credited to your account. Because we do our valuations daily and we credit members daily, we can't credit you when we send a debit notice to the bank and the bank honors it. However, it happens that once in a while, the bank comes to recall what has been credited to you. In essence, you have given us an instruction that you want to pay 100 cedis on a monthly basis. We send same instruction to the bank to honor it. Maybe in that particular month, you didn't have enough funds and the bank honored. So subsequently, they recall. When the recall is done, we then go ahead and then do a reversal of the credit that has been done on your account. So that's how come you see a reversal of the contribution on your account. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Collins Tamate. We'll be taking our next presentation. Our next presentation is on the audited accounts for the Access Pension Plan for the 2021 financial year, and it will be delivered by Mr. Gilbert Lumofio. Mr. Gilbert Lumofio is a partner at John K. & Co. Mr. Gilbert Lumofio, please, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, Chairman, Trustees, and members of the Access Pension Plan. I now proceed to read to you the Independent Auditor's Report to the members of Access Pension Plan. And I begin with the opinion. We have audited the company financial statement of Access Pension Plan, which comprise statement assets available for benefit at 31st December 2021, the statement of changes in net assets available for benefit, and statement of cash flows for the year ended, as well as notes to the financial statement, which include a summary of significant accounting policies and other explanatory notes. In our opinion, the financial statement gives a true and fair view of the financial position of the scheme at 31st December 2021, and its financial performance and cash flow for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards and in the manner required by the National Pensions Act 2008, Act 766, as amended, and the Occupational and Personal Pension General Regulations 2011, LI 1990. Basis for opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with international standards on auditing. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statement section of our report. We are independent of the fund in accordance with the International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants including international independent standards issued by the International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants, and we have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with the code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide the basis for our opinion. Mr. Chairman and members, I'd like to skip the responsibilities and go on to read to you key audit matters. In accordance with the international standards on auditing, this part of our report is intended to describe the matters communicated with those charged with governance that we have determined in our professional judgment were most significant in the audit of the financial statement. The first item under key audit matter is income recognition. The scheme generates income largely from the investment of assets of the scheme made up of members' contribution, as well as the undistributed portion of the assets of the scheme brought forward from the previous accounting period. Some of these investments straddle the end of the accounting year under review, and hence, a key consideration for the appropriate recognition of the income of the scheme is the cutoff date. The income of the scheme for the year should be recognized only if they accrue or are derived during the year up to and including the year ending, being 31st December 2021. Income that accrues beyond this date should be recognized in the following accounting year. To ensure that in recognizing income, the cutoff dates have been taken into consideration, the audit team performed the following procedure. 1. Review the design and implementation of the scheme's income recognition procedure to determine the adequacy of controls over the scheme's investment valuation procedure and income recognition at the year end. Obtain evidence of the existence and accuracy of interest income thereon of a sample of significant investment whose maturity dates are after the year end by reviewing their particulars and recomputing the expected year-end interest income. And 3, evaluated the adequacy of the accounting policy and the disclosures on income recognized in the scheme statement of changes in net assets available for benefit. The second item under key audit matter is impact of COVID-19. The COVID-19 global pandemic had an impact on almost all sectors of the economy within which the scheme operates during the year under review. For the purposes of ensuring that amounts and disclosures made in the financial statement show a true and fair view, having had regard to the effect of the pandemic, management was expected to reassess the assumptions and judgments underlying estimates made and their related disclosures, and to recognize an expected credit loss or an impairment of assets where, as a result of the pandemic, such a loss or impairment must be recognized in accordance with the International Financial Reporting Standards. The team performed the following procedures to ensure that the effect of the pandemic have been taken into consideration in preparing the financial statement. 1. Assess the level of compliance with the policies and directives from Government of Ghana and the National Pensions Regulatory Authority on the pandemic, which are applicable to the operations of the scheme. Review the credit risk assessment of the scheme's assets as a result of COVID-19, and review the adequacy of procedures performed to determine the impairment provisions made. And finally, we performed the procedures to determine the accuracy of the level of expected credit losses and impairment recognized in the financial statement. I move on to review the report on other legal and regulatory requirements. We have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. In our opinion, proper books of accounts have been kept, and the trustees of the scheme have complied with the prohibited investment practices requirement under Regulation 35, as well as the requirement of all other regulations specified by the Occupational and Personal Pension Scheme General Regulation 2011 LI 1990, as well as the requirement of the National Pension Scheme, the National Pensions Act 2008, Act 766, as amended, so far as appears from our evaluation of the books. The engagement partner on the audit resulting in this independent auditor's report is myself, Gilbert Adetelumufu, whose practice number is ICAG/P/117, and I signed for and on behalf of John K. and Co. and I dated it 29 April 2022. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gilbert Lumufiu. It is now time to answer more questions. So I will call upon Mr. Pakofi Ankuma to answer his set of questions.
Thank you very much, Harriet. If you could please direct the questions at me and I'll attempt to answer. But I think I see from a lot of the questions that have come in, people asking questions around the maturity of their investment scheme. Indeed, the Access Pension Plan as a pension scheme does not have a maturity date or maturity time. However, during the sales process and as part of the Pensions Act, the law says that for any individual pension scheme or personal pension scheme like the Access Pension Plan, individuals have two sub-accounts that we call the retirement account and then the savings sub-account. So the retirement account is geared for helping you save till retirement or for a minimum of 10 years. And if you decide to allocate any contributions to that retirement account, the law says you need to keep it for a minimum of 10 years. It doesn't say after the 10 years you need to come for it, but for a minimum of 10 years, you can keep the money in that account. However, for monies allocated to the savings accounts within the personal pension scheme, you are given the chance to withdraw from it after 5 years. It doesn't mean that you should withdraw from it after 5 years. You are only given the chance to withdraw from it without any penalties. So basically, that's the explanation. What my colleague Nana Riafe tried to explain was that a lot of people have the notion that because during the sales stage, it was mentioned that after 5 years, you can withdraw. Even after 5 years, when they do not need the funds, they rush in to withdraw for no reason, just to spend. So that is the clear distinction I wanted to provide there. Harriet, if you could help me with some of the other questions so I could answer them appropriately. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pakofi. And there's a next set of questions which will be answered by Nana Riafe-Boama. So I would like to call upon Nana Riafe-Boama to answer his set of questions.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Harriet. So I think the question I see had to do with Sylvester asking about a drop in the CEDA fund within a week, but then it normalized. Wanted to know what is happening. So Sylvester, you may have received a notification from us about a week ago to this effect. So basically what we did was we sold a bit of our Government of Ghana holdings in the CEDA schemes to reinvest in higher yielding securities. If you join, the previous open forum, I mentioned that most of our schemes are invested at a rate of around 18, 19, because we did those investments a year and two ago when interest rate was relatively low. But currently, as we speak, interest rate is around 30. So to ensure that we don't lose out as a scheme, we had to take the decision of selling some of our portfolios. And when we sold, we realized losses. And that is why you saw the drop. But the good thing is we were able to invest the proceeds from the sales in very high yielding securities, which we believe is able to restore the scheme back to the position before the sold and even generate additional returns for members. So really that is what happened. And we sent a communication in the spirit of transparency when we did, that, if you go back to your inbox, assuming you have your data updated with us, you'll see a breakdown of the logic behind that decision. Thank you. Whether there are any other questions besides this, Harriet?
Thank you, Nanaria Febwama. There are more questions and they'll be answered by Mr. Pakofi Nkrumah. So you'll come back shortly. Mr. Pakofi Nkrumah, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much once again, Harriet. I've noticed also within the chats or the questions coming in, questions around collections. And I must admit, we've had some challenges with our collections for the past year or so. We have since then been putting in place measures to address a lot of these collections. People come in and members who have been on the scheme for a while try to change their direct debit amount or the amount that comes in. And then for some reason, the collections do not come. It is no fault of yours as a scheme member, and we do apologize for the inconvenience. Unfortunately, the issue goes a bit beyond us, but we found some solution to it, which we are gradually phasing out. So within the past year or two, we've managed to open 20 bank collections accounts to help make it easy for you or for us to collect on your behalf from your banks. This year alone, we've opened an additional 4 accounts, and these include ABSA, Stanchart, Prudential Bank, Stanbic, and GCB. So for those of you who are on those, from your banks, your collections are from those banks, it's likely that from now, if it's not already going through, you'll be seeing some improvement in collections. Some banks, we continue to liaise with them. We've opened collections accounts. What has been holding on is administrative challenges and some negotiations with those banks. Once you're able to clear those ones up as well, you'll see. So we currently have 11 banks that are going through successfully. A few other banks, we are still negotiating with them to see. However, we've created opportunity for you to make alternatives for you to make contributions without hassle. Short code, that's *1860#. That is our mother short code. You can save it anywhere on your phone. It's available on MTN and Vodafone. You can make contributions on there. You enter your account number, that's your member account number with us. You can set up a direct debit or monthly deductions on it. And I'm happy to say any debits or any contributions you make via mobile onto the Access Pension Plan does not attract the e-levy. So you can be rest assured you can make deductions. Even beyond the *1860#, we also have a USSD collection with Zenith Bank. So if you dial *966 *3 *1860#. Let me take that again. *966 *3 *1860#. You enter your account number with Access, and voila, you can make contributions through Zenith without necessarily going to their bank to make any payments there. You could also do same with *737 *1860#. And that will go through our collections accounts with GT Bank. So let me take that again. *737 *1860#. You do not need to come to our offices. You can sit in the convenience of your home or your offices or wherever you are comfortable. And with your mobile money account, you can transfer money from the mobile money account using your phone into your personal pension account without hassle. So I'm sure that would help with some of the challenges. You could alternatively go onto our online portal. I think that has been put into the chat box, cap.accesspension.com/CRM. You could use your Visa account or your Visa card or your MasterCard also to make payments. We have our payment options there. Once you're a member, you could always do that also. But that one you will need either a smartphone or a computer to do that. But for those of you who do not have access to computers or smartphones, you could easily dial *1860# or any of the short codes I mentioned. Let me take the two short codes, the other short codes again. *966 *3 *1860#. That is a Zenith short code. And then the second short code is *737 *1860 hash to make contributions onto your personal pension account. I've seen a question from SG. Yes, we had opened accounts. We've opened accounts with almost all the banks in Ghana. But the challenges we've had with some of them is sometimes the cost of collections. We are trying as much as possible not to increase the cost you're already incurring in making contributions into your personal pension scheme and other teething problems. So once we are able to go over those hurdles, we'll make you know, and I'm sure you see the collections coming through. So please bear with us, and you can always call our call center on 0302 738 555 or 0800 1860 if you have any questions on that. Alternatively, you could always drop us an email. We are very happy to assist you and help you, walk you through all the way. But please bear with us. We do understand the challenges you're going through, especially for those of us who signed up this year or have tried to update your contributions this year. Let me take the few other questions that have come in. For how to increase your contributions, you could easily go onto our website. We have forms there that will help you increase your contribution. So you could call our call center. We'll send you the form through email for you to complete. But for those of you who are tech savvy and you can use, our online forms, we have it on our website. Just go on our website, requesting to increase your direct debits or your deductions, and we are happy to do that for you. Alternatively, also, we've also introduced payroll deductions. So for institutions that have large numbers, we are happy to work with you through your finance department to also collect from payroll. So those are some of the initiatives we put in place to help you. Withdrawal processing also. For you to apply for withdrawals, it's very simple. You can do that on our *1860 hash platform or even on the online portal. Just or send us an email and then we'll respond to you with all the necessary details, or even a phone call to our call center 0302 738 555. We'll send you all the necessary information for you to, within a maximum of 5 working days, the money should hit your account once we receive your withdrawal request. Thank you very much, and I'm sure I'll tackle the rest of the questions at the end of the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Parkofi and Kuma. All too soon, we have come to the end of this year's annual open forum for the Access Pension Plan. We can see that you have more questions. So you can kindly send your questions to us via email at aptl@accesspension.com. I'll take that again. You can reach us or send us an email with more questions at aptl@accesspension.com. We're excited to have you, excited to answer all your questions. You can also connect with us using our live chat, which is available on our website. We are grateful for your participation today, and we continue to remain your reliable partners in pension. We will be taking the closing prayer from Mr. Matthew Money. Mr. Matthew Money, can you unmute yourself and pray with us?
Okay, thank you, Harriet. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the hours you spent getting updates. Shall we pray? Father, we thank you once again to seeing us to a successful end of our meeting. We did request of you to be with us, and when we end well, we shall remember to give you thanks. We have remembered to give you thanks. I pray for your blessing upon the members of Access Pension Plan and their family. Bless the works of their hands, and let their hands be sufficient unto their need, as they have over the years gone out bearing precious seeds and have planted by investing for their future. May they return next year with bountiful harvest, according to the law of finance you have put in the end. May our goings out and our coming in be blessed. We thank you that you will do even as we have requested. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Mr. Matthew Money. We see that there are still more questions to be answered. So for those who have to go, you can take leave of us. But if you still have questions, we would encourage you to stay on as we give the answers. So Mr. Pakofi Ankuma will be taking on more questions, Mr. Parinoi, and as well as Nanaria Feboama. So we will stay on for a little longer to answer your questions. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Harriet. So I just wanted to implore scheme members also for any information that you require on your account, be it scheme performance. Somebody was asking for hard copy policy documents. So I assume that is the member certificates. All these documents are available on our online portal. We are trying as much as possible to go paperless. I think where the world is going, we are trying to be green. So everything is hosted on your portal, which we've personalized for you as an individual within the scheme. So when you visit our web portal, you enter your scheme account number with that. That's your member number or your SNIT number. Or if you are from controller, you are on controller payroll and your deductions come through controller, you can enter your staff number and then it will take you onto the page. It will require your phone number or email address for you to, as a security check for you before it allows you to access your account. Once you go onto the portal, there's a myriad of services you can access through there, including somebody to talk to if you have any issue. If you want to access your member certificate as proof, you could always download it from the portal. If you want your most recent statement, you could always download it. And you have the latitude to download even from 2010, if you are a member of the scheme till date, at no cost to you. So as much as possible, you can do all that on the portal. Somebody was also asking deductions from controller being in arrears. Yes, it has been a recent issue. I think for the past year, deductions from controller coming a bit later than usual. We continue to liaise with them to see how best we can get the contributions coming in on time. We'll very soon be launching or rolling out our Ghana card, because Ghana card is now the mandatory requirement for financial services for you to update your records with us with your Ghana card. We'll be launching something very soon. Once we do that, we'll employ you to help us update your records, because without your Ghana card details, it will be very difficult for us to transact with you, as SNIT number and all other financial numbers that you have, account numbers you have, are becoming redundant. So we'll be coming out with that. I see somebody is asking for the short code again. So let me take the short code again. The short code is *1860#. So *1860. 18 years you start work, 60 years you retire. So I think you can remember. So *1860#. So on MTN and Vodafone. Alternately, you could also dial *966 *3 *1860#. That would take you to Zenith Bank, and you can update your, you can make contributions from there. You could also dial *737 *1860# through GT Bank and update update your contributions. Sometimes these USSD codes act up a bit. We've had problems with our *1860# short code in a while. We are working to resolve it, but we've given you 3 different alternatives as well as the online portal. So anytime you have any problems with any of the codes, please do not hesitate to move to the next code. It will still come in your name and we'll credit it to your account as soon as possible. So please do not hesitate, or else if you have challenges, just call us on 0302 738 555. And for those of you who are on MTN, we have a toll-free number. A toll-free number means if you call us, you will not pay anything. It will not affect your credits. So the number is 0800, so 0800 00 1860. I'll take that again, 0800 00 1860. If you call us on that from an MTN line, it is toll free. Your credits will be saved. We will be paying for the cost of your call. So please, you can always reach out to us on that, or you could also call us on 0302 738 555. I hope that answers most of your questions. I also wanted to mention that our life insurance cover continues to be a benefit to scheme members. We are the only corporate trustee that provides you a life insurance cover beyond your pension scheme or pension contributions in case anything happens to you, i.e. if you should pass, you should die before retirement, or you are past medically incapacitated before retirement. There's an additional cover underwritten by Holland Life that would give you 5,000 Ghana cedis additionally from aside what you are already contributing to your pension scheme, because you're a member of the Access Pension Plan. I think that's a wonderful thing that members, we want to make your retirement journey easier. We don't want you to withdraw for emergency needs or some of these things when there's an opportunity for you to take advantage of some of these life insurance products and all that. So we've added a life insurance product to our pension scheme to help you in case of death or medical incapacitation. An additional life cover is provided to you. I would hold on for a few more minutes. My colleagues will take some of the questions and I'll come back again to address the last batch of questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pakofi Ankoma. Opare, please, can you identify a set to also answer?
Okay, thank you. So I've also been trying to answer some of them in the chat box as well, but like you mentioned, I have one here that says that I've contributed for 2.5 years. Can I make a partial withdrawal from my funds? So we encourage that withdrawals are made after 5 years if it's in the savings account. Actually, from what Nana Yafi told us and from what we have all learned today, we actually encourage that if it is possible, you delay or you defer your withdrawing from the fund, as that gives you the benefit of compound interest. So once, if it's in the savings account, once you've done the 5 years, then you can go ahead and, like in this case, make a withdrawal from the fund and be able to satisfy whatever needs it is. But because it is not up to 5 years, if you withdraw, there will be a penalty of 5%. We don't encourage that as well. Somebody said that Nana Yafi made mention of, okay, I'll leave that for Nana Yafi. Somebody said, I signed up for my personal pension plan. I've been seeing this question a lot, so please let me just address it. That for my personal pension plan, according to the one who signed me up, they told me 5 years I can take my money. What do I do? So the whole idea is this: the personal pension plan is more like an additional pension plan you're adding to whatever your employer or the state has done for you. And for people who don't even have a tier 1, tier 2 at all, this is a great opportunity to take your own destiny into your own hands and plan something for your retirement. The idea is this: that don't withdraw for as long as possible, because you get to benefit from the advantage of compound interest. Now, what some people were told at the point of enrollment was that if you put your funds in the savings account, then from 5 years onwards, you have the opportunity to withdraw. What it means is that if you started, say, if you start this year, 2022, by 2027, you would have done 5 years. From that time onwards, then you are able to withdraw part of it or whatever percentage you want. But we encourage that you continue the investment and enjoy the benefit of compound interest even after the 5 years. And for those who put their funds in their retirement plan, the idea is that you want to leave your money untouched till retirement. But even that, with that said, after 10 years, you are allowed to make a withdrawal. Sure. The next question is also about that one, since I've mentioned that. I think there are a lot of questions about that. Okay, somebody is saying that looking at the economic rates he was contributing a fixed amount, is he required to contribute more? Okay, so the answer is yes, because if you started, say, 3 years ago and you were contributing 100 cedis, I can bet that 100 cedis was maybe a percentage of your salary, yes, but now 100 cedis has become even a much, much smaller percentage of your income or your salary. So we always advise that after a while, increase the monthly contribution. That way, you get to give more like turbocharge your contribution so that the end point, whatever amount you expect to get based on the plan with which you started the investment would be achieved. So we highly encourage that you increase your contribution. You can do that by visiting our web portal and contributing and completing the form, or you can give us a call through our numbers, any of our numbers, like the toll-free if you're on MTN, 0800 008 1060, or our call center number, or you can send us an email and then we'll assist you to increase your contribution. We encourage that you do that. Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Oparinoi. I would like to call upon Mr. Collins Samate to answer a few questions. There's a question from Sylvester that says that my contribution is deducted monthly from controller, but I realize that the collection of the money from controller is always in arrears. Please, can you give me a reason for the challenge? As I had my May contributions credit to my Access account this week.
Hello, thank you.
Yes.
Is the question from Gabriel or Gilbert?
It's from Sylvester.
Sylvester, thank you for your question. So ordinarily, we credit you just the following day after receiving your contributions. What we have realized with the controller is that I think it's a cash flow issue. We have come to understand it's a cash flow issue. So even though you may see it on your pay slip that your contribution for a particular month, say June, has been debited, we will most likely receive your contributions after about 2 months. So we will credit you just the following day after receiving contributions. So any delay will not come from our end. It comes from the source, that is controller. So we credit you as and when we receive the contributions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Collins Tamate. There are so many questions coming in, and we would like to answer all of them. So I will just re-emphasize that you kindly send your questions via email to us at aptl@accesspension.com, aptl@accesspension.com. You can also call our call center and we will answer all your questions. Thank you so much. Because of time, we would have to just close here. We look forward to having more sessions with you. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
A white man said, there is no such thing as a self-made man. And I think we can say the same for Access.
The story of Access is incomplete without you, our cherished clients.
We are because you are.
10 years ago, you made a choice.
Access owes you a debt of gratitude for your loyalty, for your commitment, for your support, and for all the trust you have reposed in our brand over the years.
As we celebrate this great milestone, we say a very big thank you to all of you for believing in Access.
Thank you very much for believing in the Access brand and also for keeping faith with us.
I'd like to thank all our clients and
to our institutional and individual clients and customers, we would like to say
we value your trust and confidence in us. We really appreciate you.
Because of you, we've been able to deliver financial peace of mind to over 250,000 Ghanaians.
I believe the next decade holds greater promise for you.
As we have entered into a new phase of our life, it is our prayer that you, our cherished client and Access, we shall grow and flourish together.
There are better days ahead, and we will want you to be part of the Access story. When we have chalked greater success, your name shall be inscribed in the very books of this dear company.
We assure you that in the next 10 years, we would continue to provide the top-notch services that you have been used to, and even improve upon that.
As a pioneer in the pension industry, we shall continue to innovate and give you the best of service you deserve.
We'll continue to serve you better.
Thank you for sticking with us all this time when nobody believed in us.
We wouldn't have come this far without your support, feedback, and encouragement.
We recognize the trust you have reposed in us, and we endeavor not to let you down.
Thank you for listening to us when nobody believed in our message.
Thank you very much for supporting the dream.
Thank you very much for being with Access Pension.
We thank you for choosing us.
So on behalf of our shareholders, our staff, our directors, and our trustees, we say thank you for doing business with Access.
As the chairman of Access, I would like to express our gratitude to all our dear customers, very precious customers, and faithful and loyal customers who have stood with this business and stuck with us all these years.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you once again.
And thank you for doing business with Access.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much for keeping us in business. Thank you.
Thank you.
man said, there is no such thing as a self-made man. And I think we can say the same for Access.
The story of Access is incomplete without you, our cherished clients.
We are because you are.
10 years ago, you made a choice.
Access owes you a debt of gratitude for your loyalty, for your commitment, for your support, and for all the trust you have reposed in our brand over the years.
As we celebrate this great milestone, we say a very big thank you to all of you for believing in Access.
Thank you very much for believing in the Access brand and also for keeping faith with us.
I'd like to thank all our clients and
To our institutional and individual clients and customers, we would like to say,
We value your trust and confidence in us. We really appreciate you.
Because of you, we've been able to deliver financial peace of mind to over 250,000 Ghanaians.
I believe the next decade holds greater promise for you.
As we have entered into a new phase of our life, it is our prayer that you, our cherished client and Access, we shall grow and flourish together.
there are better days ahead, and we will want you to be part of the Access story. When we have chalked greater success, your name shall be inscribed in the very books of this dear company.
we assure you that in the next 10 years, we would continue to provide the top-notch services that you have been used to and even improve upon that.
As a pioneer in the pension industry, we shall continue to innovate and give you the best of service you deserve.
We'll continue to serve you better. Thank you for sticking with us all this time when nobody believed in us.
We wouldn't have come this far without your support, feedback, and encouragement.
We recognize the trust you have reposed in us, and we endeavor not to let you down.
Thank you for listening to us when nobody believed in our message.
Thank you very much for supporting the dream.
Thank you very much for being with Access Pension.
We thank you for choosing us.
So on behalf of our shareholders, our staff, our directors, and our trustees, we say thank you for doing business with Access.
As the chairman of Access, I would like to express our gratitude to all our dear customers, very precious customers, and faithful and loyal customers who have stood with this business and stuck with us for all these years.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you once again.
And thank you for doing business with Access.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much for keeping us in business. Thank you.
Thank you.